highvolumemusicradio.com. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing, accounting, social media, resources, strategies, tips, events. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
It's just savage business.
Grants, funding, capital, life
insurance,
annuities, finances, tax tips, strategies, music, business, local spotlights, business highlights, leadership, entrepreneurship. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour. highvolumemusicradio.com. All right, Facebook land. This is Candace Joseph, your business guru. When I say we are live tonight, we are live tonight. And I'm excited about it too. This is a thing, right? When you meet two powerhouses of great women, there is nothing you can do but do what? Combine them in the best show ever, the Business Knowledge Broker Hour. And when I say the synergy is just there, it's just there, you know? With every week, you know, on the Business Knowledge Broker Hour, I start with some Candaceisms. So I'm going to give you tonight's Candaceisms. First and foremost, I have to say that business travel dealing with COVID-19 was an experience this weekend. I have to tell you, it was absolutely great. But these are just some tips and some tricks that make sure that you know everything that you need to know, okay? First and foremost, have a great team with you, because when I say I had a great team with me this weekend, you know, my team is the Joseph Consulting Firm. You know, we do everything. And I want to give a big shout out to Brandy Cambrick and also Oshabelle Lawson for the awesome road trip. We got some sisterly bonding in. We talked a little bit of business and we got lost a couple of times. I just have to say that we did. We got lost, but it was a great experience. When traveling with COVID, of course, you want to make sure you have your mask. You want to make sure that you have gloves, hand sanitizer. You want to make sure that you actually stay that 6 feet distance as much as you can. You know, you want to make sure that the hotel you're staying in is well sanitized and clean and prepared. And you also want to make sure that any city or state that you're traveling to, that you know the recommendations from the city in regards to everything COVID, okay? So I have to say this, I had a great time in New Orleans, and I just want to thank the individuals at Opulent Productions for having me there to host their red carpet. But you know what? Enough about my weekend. Let's get these two powerhouses on the screen. When I say they are everything and then some. So y'all know how I do. If I don't do my Sunday night show, you know I'm coming live on Monday night. And you know what? It is going to be absolutely great. Why? Because I got two powerhouses. And as y'all know what I do when I'm in the studio. So for today, I'm going to bring them up on the screen so they can introduce themselves. Hey, ladies. Let's go ahead and unmute you guys and let's go ahead and get the party rocking for tonight.
Hello. Hey.
I have to say, these two women here are everything. They are everything. They are the embodiment of empowerment. They are the embodiment of manifestation. They are living their truth and they are within their purpose. So I'm going to give them some time to shine on the screen. So I want Brittni, I want you to mute your mic. I'm going to start with Miss Christine Bar Noel. And this is the thing. Whenever I cross paths with people that are kindred spirits, I like to let them know that they are kindred spirits. Brittni Sparks, you are a kindred spirit to me. Thank you for being my sister. Thank you for being an empowered woman. Thank you. Christine Barnoel, thank you for being that light, that air. Thank you for being a woman who walks in your purpose, talks in your purpose, and help people manifest their dreams. So I want to start with Christine. Noel.
That's quite an introduction. Thank you so much. I'm sure, Brittni and I just met, but I think we can both agree that we feel the same about you. And you and I had a synergy the other day, when we met, and it doesn't take long when you're living in your, higher self to connect with other people who are also living in their higher self. And so, yeah, that happened very quickly. So I am Christine Barnoel, as she said, and I am a life balance coach. So I actually, I work with breaking habits and cycles of perfection and self-doubt within yourself to manifest the life of your dreams. But I use the tools of sustainable habits and manifestation to do that. And it's a wild ride once you get deep into it. And I will say that once you can't bypass it. Like everyone in their life goes through some form of it if they're trying to do something great. And the sooner you do it, the better.
Okay. Okay. Now see, I like that. You said, rip the Band-Aid off.
Go, just go.
Just go. Just go. But I love the fact that you are a life balance coach, and we're going to tap into that a little bit more. Yeah. I want to get Brittni up on the screen here. Miss Brittni, unmute your mic for me because I want people to hear about your greatness.
Hello.
Oh.
I am Brittni Sparks. Thank you, Candace, for having me on. Thank you, Christine, for that great synergy that we already had getting on together. I'm Brittni Sparks. I am a mommy, an advocate, and I am an owner of Another Loud Black Woman and Picturesque Planning, HTX. Another Loud Black Woman is a blog that I have that is going to develop into a podcast because, as Christine said, we're going to speak manifestations. We're going to talk about positivity in 2021. We're going to forget everything else that went on. Another Loud Black Woman is actually an acronym. Loud stands for loyal, outspoken, unbreakable, and deliberate in everything that you do. And it pretty much ties in with me being an advocate and an educator as well as a mother. Because I think that it's important for people, not just women of color, but all women and children to be loud and deliberate in their stance for what they truly believe in and for who they are. There's a lot of people that, the speculations or, they feel like being loud is automatically a negative thing. It's associated with a negative connotation, and that's just not what it is. I'm loud in everything that I do, and I do it on purpose. And so I think that it's important for women and young girls to be true to themselves and to understand who they are and be loud in everything that they do. So that is what Another Loud Black Woman is.
Woo! Woo!
Love that.
I love that too.
Own your happiness.
Own it.
Amen.
Yeah, and this is the greatness about it, right? This is the reason why, Brittni, have them turn the volume down on the device. So what I was gonna say is that for me, I feel like when you have set your path, okay? Because we're talking about goals, right? In order for you to get to the real goals and to manifest them, you have to write them down, right? And sometimes people, they gravitate through life and they don't really know what their goals are. And sometimes that is the goal, just living, right? Just living and being and drifting and finding that purpose. The reason why I'm happy to have you both on tonight is because you guys both have the same goal in regards to women empowerment and people empowerment. So for me, I absolutely love that you both are on, this is the thing about manifestation though, because I want to jump right into that. Okay. We're going to talk about the pathway to manifestation, but I want to talk about the actual power of manifestation. What I've learned recently is that when you see actual proof of what you have created and what you have set down and put in front of you, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm still awestruck by it.
Mm.
I am awestruck by everything that I have created with the help of my team. I am awestruck by everything that's come with it. And even the great people that I've met along the way, like sometimes I'm still fangirling. I'm like, yes, oh my, I can't believe I met this person. I can't believe I met this person. And then it's like, when you write out goals, I wrote out goals when I was 19. I have 4 left, right? And I think by the end of 2021, I'll be able to accomplish 2. What I have left on the list of 25 that I wrote when I was 19, what's left is I want to jump out of a plane. I want to write a book. I want to travel to Africa. And I want to help everyone become a global citizen. So this year, I might be able to jump out that plane. I got to lose a few more pounds. I'm cool with that, because I'm very confident in who I am as a person. So I'm okay with that. And the book will be done by March of 2021 and published.
Wow.
So when Christine the other day, she talked about manifestation and how you can win in every area of your life, I was like, yes. Then when I read Brittni's blog, and Brittni talked about how you can do everything with education, knowledge, and power. How great is that? Like how wonderful is that? And I love the fact that Brittni's like, hey, you can be loud, you can be proud, you can be brave, you got to be fearless. You can step into your purpose no matter what it is, and nobody can talk you out of it. I love that. I love that. And Christine's like, yes, you can do everything. All you have to do is start. Like Christine has this podcast that she hasn't talked about yet. Oh, it's called Today with T. And I love it because everything is a hashtag. It's like hashtag, see? Oh, she got her tea. Yes, she has her tea. So it's like, I love it.
Conversation.
Start the conversation. That's the hashtag. And with the reason why you two are powerhouses to me, because with Christine, there is no holds bar. There is no topic that she will not touch. There is no topic that she shies away from. She rips the Band-Aid off of so much. It's like, I'm not the only person that think about these things. And she rips the Band-Aid off. And she talks about it on her show. And I love it. So let's talk about, what do you guys, look, we got all night because I'm cool with that, because that's just who I am as a person. Let's talk about the power of goals. Let's talk about that. Let's start there. So I want to get you ladies' view on that. Christine, I'm going to start with you. What's the most important thing you feel that people should know about starting a goal towards manifestation, everything they want in their life? Like, what do you think about the startup goals?
Yeah, I think that it's New Year's. We put a lot of pressure on the first of the year to make resolutions. And I think people misinterpret what that means. It becomes a trendy thing. And I talk a lot about that on my show as well. It's all about breaking out of the box of society. We're very conditioned to think a certain way. And what society has is great. It's a template, but it's not the only option. And the idea is that, anyone that you've met that you admire, that's done something great, broke rules, pushed the boundaries, didn't just do what everyone said, this is what you're supposed to do. This is the path you're supposed to take. So I encourage people to do their own research and to find out what it is that they want out of life. And you're right, Candace, most people don't know. That's the first problem. I meet so many people, I start their journey with them, and I'm like, what do you want out of life? what's the, what if you could have anything? And it's almost like we're conditioned to not dream big after we become an adult, right?
Yeah.
Like we almost are, because it's like, well, when you're younger, you want to be an astronaut, you want to be a pop star, you want to be all these things. And then you have to pick a major in college, or, around high school, you start to think about what you want to be when you grow up. And then you think, well, that's not realistic. And your parents are kind of trying to guide you towards a safe path that will give you financial security and that will help you be well developed, and, so you can raise a family. And that's all fine and dandy. I'm not against that path, but I'm also saying that if you push yourself and you really believe that you are destined to do something, your higher self will lead you to that, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And I was lucky enough to have parents that never told me I couldn't do anything. So my brother and I pushed and pushed and pushed, and we just did. And that's when you realize that there really are no differences between kids dreaming and adults doing. We just need to take away the fear. And so I love what Brittni says is the fear, do things fearlessly, like be loud, own it, do it, because people are going to tell you all day long that you shouldn't be doing that, or they're going to go against you, So what I've been telling people this week on my Instagrams and my podcasts and things is, what is the difference between making resolutions and intentions? Coming back to the goals thing. And people are making resolutions. They're going to the gym, they're joining the gyms, 6-pack abs, all these things in January. And then by February, they drop off, right? And that happens with every goal, right? I want to lose weight. I want to gain weight. I want to have a relationship. I want to make more money. I want to whatever. I want to buy that car. And by February, they realize they don't have a plan. There's no execution. There's no aligned action. And then by February, it's, they try to pick it up maybe in the summer. And then by December, they're thinking, oh, well, at least we'll have 2022. And so what I say to that is, if you create intention, and you have a plan, and you're working with aligned action. So you're not just making some goal that says like, I want to do this, and it's completely out of your realm of, it can be completely out of your realm, but does that feel good inside? Ask yourself, is this what I want? Or is this what I think I want so that I can keep up with the Joneses and look good to society, right? So many people do that. They say, I want that car because everybody has that car. Okay, well, what is that feeling that you're going to get when you get that car? You know what I mean? And so I'm less about making goals and resolutions, more about intentional actions. And that is where we can start talking about manifestation and jumping into that. Because until you understand that and what you really want and why you want it, manifestation is just going to be above everyone's head.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Be intentional. I love that, because and see, the thing about it is, I don't like the word resolution.
I don't either.
I feel like every day you can come up with a solution, So I like solutions over resolutions, because like you said, by February, people are not there. They're not in tune with it. They're like, okay, I do not look like a supermodel after eating my way through COVID. Okay, by February. So let me stop. I love it.
Well, we talked about that on the other show too. Resolution, the word resolution is so negative. If you think about it, you're trying to resolve something that you don't like about yourself, essentially. And that doesn't make any sense. You cannot, that's manifesting out of scarcity. There's already something that you don't like that you're trying to change, and you're just going about it with no aligned action. Versus if you make an intention, it's a plan, and you're going towards manifesting in abundance because you want something to be better. Not, I'm trying to get rid of this thing that I don't like about myself. That's not a way to go into being a better version of you if you already don't love. You know what I mean? Like, you have to love who you are first, and then you can jump into, okay, but I would like to be a little bit thinner or a little bit bigger or have a certain amount of financial security, whatever. But own who you are right now. Even if that's not who you want to be, you can still be present in that and love who you are, and then be working towards the better version of you, because we're never perfect.
Right.
Like,
And a lot of times people forget that. They forget that. They're like, okay, well, I look good on the outside. I got the right clothes on. I got the right outfit. I have this. I'm sharp. I'm professionally dressed. I'm real good. Then it's kind of like, whoa, now what?
right.
About the inside. So I always tell people you have to take care of the insides because it shows on the outside, no matter how you're dressed, anything like that, it shows up. And I love what you said about being present. Think about how many times we are on autopilot, right? We get in a car, we jump in a car, we're driving to work, we're just kind of coasting through everything. We coast through work, we coast through home life. The next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's time for me to go to bed.
Yeah.
What did I do today?
What's the intention again? Like, are you living with intention? Are you showing up in the world the way that you want to show up in the world? Or are you just doing it because, well, I have to get gas because my car won't run without gas? Okay, that's fine. But that carries over into so many other areas. You go to work and I have to do this because otherwise I'll get fired, and I have to do this, but nothing's feeling really aligned. You're just kind of showing up because you feel like everything becomes, I have to do this. And if you are saying that more in your day than I got to do this or I get to do this, then those are when the shifts need to be made. Those are red flags for sure.
Ooh. If I was in a radio station right now, I'd be like, round of applause. Yes, that is so true. So Brittni, what are your thoughts in regards to goal setting and being intentional?
Being intentional, I'm all for it. So Christine, you saw me give you the 2 snaps. Yes, be intentional in everything that you do. So here's an excerpt from one of the blog posts that I made a few months back. I started off saying that in life, you can choose to focus on the depreciative things, or you can move towards the appreciative approach and make a difference. But it's up to you to choose wisely. And that goes with you being intentional in your personal life and your professional life. The more time that we spend focused in or fixated on negative things, the less focused you are on what's important, right? So when we're no longer able to change a situation, we're challenged to then change ourselves. And so that's where that's always been near and dear to me, because I've been loud my entire life, like with everything. And again, you can't associate the loud with anything negative. It's just that I'm loud. Like I stand firm in what I believe in and everything that I do. And I'm raising my daughter to believe in everything that she does, to be intentional. She's 4 years old, but she's brilliant in everything that she does. And we're going to keep speaking that, and she's going to continue to manifest into being a loud Black woman, as she should, like her mother, like her aunties, like her nanas, her grandmothers. You know what I mean? That's being intentional in everything that I do. And so going back to growing up, and even now in present day in 2021, it's frowned upon for you to be loud or for you to speak up for what you believe in and how you feel and who you are. Women shouldn't feel that way. I want you to speak up. I need you to speak up, because then you give me another platform to use in, with the one that I already have and the one that I'm creating for myself. With Black women, what's the first thing that a lot of people think or feel when they see a Black woman? Or how many times have you been scrutinized for being yourself or for being you? No, it's time out for all of that. And so that's my purpose, and those are my intentions. And I'm going to continue to say it over and over in the professional world, in the personal world. Be who you are and be true to yourself, and don't worry about the masses.
Love it. Love it.
Because do you mind if I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
Because I think I agree with what you're saying, but I also think that there has been a huge shift happening, not just because of 2020, but in general, I think people are becoming more comfortable owning their truth when it comes to LGBTQ, Black community, all the different communities that are happening. I think women in getting paid less than men. I think a lot of these things are starting to come up that are allowing because that's part of manifesting too, is if we always believe that we can't still speak our truth, then it will always be not being able to speak it. And we do have to see that the world may not progress as fast as we do, but it is progressing.
Yeah, the idea is to keep the preconceived notions and those rooted misconceptions. You got to put that on the back burner and keep it moving, and not let that stop you from who you are, or who you need to be, or who you want to be, or who you're manifesting into.
I love that. I love that, because it's like with me, I always think about things of a 360 turn, right? Because, you know, we all belong to a certain demographic that in some sense of the word has been marginalized, you know, over the years. So I love the fact that there's this great surgence of, you know, brilliant people that are out here that are stepping up to the plate saying, hey, I am brilliant. I am here. I am, you know, I will be counted in those numbers. You know what I mean? So it's like, I love it. I love the resurgence of it. That's it.
Anymore, like it's not happening.
Yep. And I love the fact that you said about the shift.
No one should have to restructure who they are to fit in, to stand out on your own. Whomever you are, whatever you are, whoever you choose to be, whatever you choose to be that person and be intentional. We need more of that in the world.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, think about it. We're all using our platforms in a way to make sure that voices are heard. You know what I mean? Like with Brittni in the blog space. First of all, Brittni, brilliant. Every blog, I read every blog from the yes. I'm not gonna support and not know everything. I can't get on my show and talk about someone's brilliance unless I see all of their brilliance. That's it. How can I sit here and be a radio host and a podcast host and tell people about the hidden jewels that they need to know if I don't get to know everything about those hidden jewels? I wouldn't be me if I did, right? So I love it. And everything that you write from your first, and this is the thing about progression, from your first blog post to now, each one just got greater and greater and greater and greater and greater and more powerful and more assertive. And I was sitting there, and everyone I read, I was like, yes, 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 yes. You know, so we're using our platforms and our mediums to not only uplift and make acknowledgement of who we are as women, as, you know, mothers, as spouses, as entrepreneurs, as creatives, right? But we're making sure that the voices of the unheard are there for the ride. We want to make sure that they know that they are heard regardless if they're seen or not. And the same thing with Christine. Christine got that, man, start the conversation. Every episode.
Intense,
And
yeah.
From the first one, built, boom, boom. I was sitting there like, wait a minute. No way. She really discussing this? Wait. And they're doing it over tea, which is like one of my favorites. I was like, yes.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I love the fact that we do that.
Black Lives Matter happened, like immediately. I was like, this is my brand. This is what we do. I was like, we have to do something. And I have an amazing person in my life who helped me, who was on that show, who guided me through that process. Cause I was like, I didn't want people to think, oh, there's this little, you know, white girl that's talking about Black Lives Matter. But my fiance is Haitian, and I will be raising interracial children. And I wanted everyone to know, like, this is a conversation we all need to be having, especially if you're white, you know? So he was amazing and helped me through that. And he's a professor and does all these things. So we had great conversation about that. But yeah, we talk about body image. We talk about, you know, psychotherapy. We talk about entrepreneurship, the pressure to succeed, millennials and social media time and how it's taking over our life. And, you know, we need to talk about these things so people become more self-aware. It's the self-awareness that needs to be brought to people's attention.
Well, like I said, I love it because you are both strong women that utilize your platform in a way that it needs to be seen more often. And look, I've been passing it along. I don't know about you guys. I've passed along in an email. I've sent to people in text messages. I sent it to my team, and it was like, y'all need to check out this greatness, and we need to follow this greatness, and we need to make sure 6 months from now that we know what's going on with this greatness. You know what I mean? So I love it, and I love the fact that you both sat down with a plan about what you wanted, in the entrepreneur space, and even getting out your messages. I absolutely love that. And I want to ask each of you, and you guys could decide who's going to go first on this question. How did you set aside, you got your goals together, you wrote them out, you thought about how you wanted to do it. How did you move forward and move towards manifestation with all of the different roadblocks along the way? How'd you guys move towards that? Because putting out, and people don't realize, when you put out a blog, when you put out a video, that's your soul on a plate, so to speak. You know what I mean? You're putting yourself out there for judgment, for people to follow, unfollow, like, criticize, decide that they don't like it. Or some people are like, yes, I'm going to be the cheerleader of all of this. How did you guys move from goal to moving towards manifestation of their purpose? What was your process?
Brittni, go ahead.
Oh, you are already unmuted, but okay, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
I can't speak about being candid and outspoken without being candid and outspoken. I wouldn't be true to myself. Prior to getting on here, just being transparent, I was texting my family and I'm like, oh Lord, what am I gonna say? And this and that. And they're all like, just be yourself. Just do you and be yourself. And I'm like, y'all so right. Let me just get on here and be who I am. Not to sound cliche, because when you become a mother, you're manifesting into a different person. When I became a mother, that changed my entire life around. My thought process changed. My goals changed. My inspirations changed. My aspirations changed. Everything about me changed when that little girl came into the world. So with everything that I do from the time she was born to now and to the day that I leave this earth, I'm gonna always go hard. So I write down, I journal. I'm really big on journaling. I journal my thoughts. I pray about it. I meditate on things and I keep it pushing. I cry my tears and then I go on about my business. Cry your tears, wipe your eyes, and keep moving. Because there's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity. There's plenty of people that have the platform, but choose to use it for their own selfish reasons. I'm not a selfish person. I'm not a biased person. I'm a non-judgmental person, because we've all, even if you haven't, then you're just not human. But I've been at rock bottom before. I've been that person that didn't know what I wanted to do until I changed my mindset. You have to change your mindset, and you have to think positivity, and you have to be positive, and you just have to push through and endure in everything that you do.
I love it. So when you move towards starting your blog, right? Mm-hmm. How did that process go for you in the space of, okay, I know I want to do this. I know I'm a writer, but I'm going to educate at the same time. And then boom, blog, right? Mm-hmm. How did that process go for you? Like, did you have any hangups along the way, or was it just smooth sailing from the start?
No, it wasn't smooth. The only thing smooth about it was writing the actual blog, because I have a bachelor's degree in speech communications with a minor in journalism. So I've been writing. And then I have a master's degree in child and adolescent developmental psychology. So my head is always in somebody's book or reading about something or writing about anything. So that part wasn't hard. I can write for years if you want me to. Things literally just pop up out of my head. My sisters will text me, hey, can you say this for me in your way? And then just send it back to me so I can send it. So they've always said, you have a way with words. So just, say this for me, right? And so the hardest part about it was wondering if it would, how it would be received. Because again, talking about those preconceived notions and those rooted misconceptions, even today, even now, I have on a shirt, and I've had on my shirt all day and it says another loud Black woman, and everybody's kind of like, ugh. Even Black women were like, I don't associate myself with being a loud Black woman, but you don't even know what a loud Black woman is, right? And so that was the part for me. That was the challenging part for me, was how am I going to be able to use this platform and reach other people? And how is it going to manifest? How is it going to expand? How am I going to succeed in what I'm doing? And I just go for it every week. And that's it.
I love it. What about you, Christine? Goal written, plan, manifestation.
Yeah, Brittni, that's awesome. It sounds like you're just redefining the conditioning that society has put in about what it means to be a loud Black woman. And
Right.
I love that. Yeah, I grew up in a very interesting situation. I actually grew up in the world of competitive ballroom dancing. So I started dancing when I was very, very young, probably around the ages of 8, 9, which is actually almost too late sometimes when you're really in that sport. But my dad's a dancer. He opened up a dance studio, and my brother and I were basically raised there. And I was taught disciplines and daily routines and habits and mindset and all of that stuff very, very early. My dad introduced me to the law of attraction when I was about 12. And that was huge. At first you're like, oh, okay, I have magical powers. And then it's like, wait, what does that mean? And then he started showing us examples of how it shows up in his life and how he takes aligned action to make sure that, ask, believe, receive, all that stuff. And it's been amazing. I mean, my whole life has been competing. I won a world title at 21. I went out to LA. I was doing it was just one thing after another. But I started a company, in mid-20s. I was doing social media marketing, and then I was doing event planning, and then all this stuff. But through it all, there was a consistency of hard work, entrepreneurship, hustle. If you work hard, you'll make it happen. And there was something missing. It was just, when I became a world champion, it was amazing. And it was everything that I thought I ever wanted. But there was just something that just wasn't feeling as aligned, especially in that industry, and just feeling like where I fit in. And am I just going along with what was put in front of me and I'm just good at it? I started asking myself a lot of questions. And I was blessed to have a lot of resources and opportunities around. So I had a lot of options to ask myself questions. And I found manifestation. And it was the game changer for me, literally. What I see now is that what I was doing and creating all these habits and all these things, which I still pride myself on. I'm not a manifestation coach. I use manifestation in my coaching, but I really pride myself on the sustainable habits, because that's what I know. That's my thing that I did. It's the organization. It's the reason I can travel all the time and do all these things and not miss a beat, not miss a flight, all the things. But I use manifestation as a way to fulfill all of those things. It's kind of the glue that holds everything together. And I discovered that law of attraction is surface level. It's whatever, now it's becoming popular. I mean, what's crazy is that law of attraction, we were talking about this before, has been out with Oprah and the book and The Secret and all this stuff for so many years. And people are just now starting to talk to me about it. And I'm just like, you're a little late to the party, but you're here and let's celebrate that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Manifestation is the vehicle that allows you to use the law of attraction, right? It just supercharges everything. And it's kind of the difference between that resolution and intention we were talking about earlier. That's the difference for me between law of attraction and the law is there. Okay. but how do we use it with intention?
Use it.
That's manifestation.
Ooh, I'm talking about like this is the whole thing. Like I tell people that all the time. Like it took me 10 years to get out of my own way.
Mm.
You know, like
Yeah.
people see Candace Jones, a business guru, and they're kind of like, oh, okay, well, this is easy for you. You know this stuff, but they don't know how it took me 10 years to really get over self-doubt, truthfully.
Mm.
And I think that was the fear. It was the thing I tell people all the time, you have to forgive yourself, you know, and I had to sit there and think about it. Like everything I do now, everybody's like, what's the next big thing? And I'm like, I'm just going to gravitate and let things happen. You know, I write out a plan, I execute, but I'm not going to beat myself up. Yeah. Just, you know, become
Give
more.
yourself grace.
Yes.
That too.
So I had to get out of my own way. And like, I was that person that was, oh, The Secret. Okay, let me check this out. Oh, Law of Attraction. Let me read it 5 times. And it's like, okay, I've read it 5 times, but why isn't anything happening? Like you said, ding. It was like, wait.
Because it's there and we know what it is, and you can read that book and you can watch that video all the time. But if you don't know how to apply the law in your life and do all of the things, the going through, you know, your childhood, limiting beliefs and all of these things that have happened to you, the healing that needs to be done,
yes,
the manifestations are not going to come. They're just not, because you're not doing the work. And so many people don't know what that work is. And I just tell people, listen, we're in the age of growth. You need to get a life coach. You need to get a therapist if there's some, you know, past PTSD stuff, whatever. But if you need some guidance in life, a life coach is also a game changer, and they will help guide you in what you're trying to do. Manifestation is not the answer for everybody. Manifestation is what people choose to use as a vehicle to get what they want.
Yeah.
But you can have a life coach and still see progress that's not a manifestation coach. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I think for me, what held me back for so long was the concept of around perfection.
Oof.
I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted the website to be perfect. I wanted the business cards to be perfect. I wanted to make sure I had that perfect business plan wrote out. I wanted to make sure that I knew my 30-second elevator speech, which I think I'm pretty good at by now. I think I'm good at it. Like that's the running joke on all the shows that I'm on, that I'm pretty good at that. And I had to sit back and really think about it. Like, oh, you are worthy of all the things that you've wanted. You're worthy. And
self-doubt, that's the hardest pill to swallow. Yeah. And you have to believe that you are enough. And that's where the perfectionism, because that's why I say that I really I guide people to work through that, you know, cycles of perfection and self-doubt, because those two things, they go hand in hand. And it's like, well, no, I've heard people, you know, that entrepreneurs, I'm organized, I'm type A, I just like things to be a certain way. And it's like, yeah, but that's also feeling like if it's not that way, you don't feel valued or worthy of what you're
doing. Okay, Christine, stop, get out of my head. That's me, because that's me. And what I've learned, a word that you just used a few minutes ago, was consistency. You got to be consistent in your hustle, and you have to believe in yourself, because nobody else is going to be consistent with you, your brand, your hustle, and your business except you. And I had to overcome that too. I'm still like that to this day. If it's not like this, because I am type A, and I am extremely overly organized in everything that I do. And that causes a lot of friction and anxiety. And I have to take a breather, because I have to understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about, you know, being a good, consistent hustler of myself.
Perfection creates resistance. When you have resistance, that's when the universe is just like, nope, not a part of this. It gives up. And so you have to surrender. You do what you need to do. You do your aligned action, and you make, you know, you embody the feeling, and you do all of that. But after a certain point, there's a section of it that you cannot control. And you have to trust that everything that you've done is going to work with the universe well, so that you can surrender. I use this example. all the time. I actually got this from my manifestation coach, and I was like, I'm adopting that. That's amazing. We all shop on Amazon, and we purchase something. We click purchase, and then it says, okay, confirmation email, all that stuff, and then we just wait until it shows up. We're not calling Amazon every day and going, is my package here yet? Is it shipped? Are we good? You know, I mean, unless something gets lost in the mail, like you're just like, you just know your Amazon package is going to show up, right? And so why don't we do the same thing with manifestations or things that we want and desire? Is that we can't be saying, universe, why isn't it here yet? What's happening? Why is it not here? You have to trust, just like the package. Why would the package not show up at your house?
Mm-hmm.
That's their job. So the universe is the same thing, and it's going to come. You just have to trust in the process. And meanwhile, you're living your life, doing your thing, and then that package shows up and you're good. You know what I mean? But you have to trust in the process and keep doing, just like what you said, Brittni, it's consistency, right? You have to be consistent. And that's what I do in the habits part of my course. That's the main thing I do, is it's all about consistency, because even if you feel like you're not working from aligned action, or it feels weird, or you feel like you're dropping off, or you're not seeing results and you're plateauing, the consistency, eventually it's going to get to a place where you're going to see a giant up level. And it's because you were consistent.
Oh, I'm experiencing it now. And people are like, oh, okay, well, Candace, when are you going to plateau? It's like, I don't really have plans to plateau.
Sorry, that wasn't on the agenda.
yeah. What do you mean when your company plateaus? No such thing. No. Because what happened with me was the purpose behind what I wanted to do as an entrepreneur got bigger. You know, it got bigger, and it got bigger with COVID. You know, oh yeah, it's cool to have clients here and clients there and all around the US. But then all of a sudden, when the world pandemic hit, then all of a sudden everybody is like, oh no, I'm holding on to my coins. I'm holding on to this. I don't know what's going to happen next. So I was like, well, people still have to do business. So let's just give it away for free. And the thought process behind that was more so of, let me help these entrepreneurs get to where they need to be. You know, okay, I can make some sacrifices and do some things and remix and do a pivot on my business and turn it into something else to help my fellow man, because that's always been my goal since I got into business. So for me, it was like, that was the easiest decision. And when you talk about manifestation, right, let me tell you a quick story. I've been having a dream for a year that I had an office, and that my parents came to my office and someone walked them back into my office, and there was like a desk there, and he walked in and said, oh, you ready for lunch? And there was like this big sign behind me with Joseph Consulting Firm. And I dreamed about it every day for a year, right? And when you're thinking about, I've never had an office space, never. In all the years I've done this, I've never had an office space, never needed one. And one day it was like, well, wait, you know, me and my dad were having a conversation. He's like, yeah, but your purpose is getting bigger than what you first thought of, you know, years back. And, you know, you need people, places where they can come to, and you have all these people, that entrepreneurs that work with you, they need somewhere to work. And I was like, okay. And so, you know, on election day, I went and voted, and then I went and got an office space. And, you know, it was so weird. Like I kept having a dream about something red, you know, okay, well, you know, it's something red behind me, or something red in the room or something. And I'm a person, I like teal, I like blues, I like browns. And so when my parents came to my office, my mom bought a red coffee pot.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. That's the signs from the universe that people need to realize that that's the universe talking to you.
Yeah.
Because the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in feeling and emotion and action. And that's powerful. Wow, I just got chills. Woo.
Yeah. So now it's like, my dad was like, okay, so what's the numbers? You know, we call my dad the chairman of the board. So, okay, chairman of the board, you know, the firm. What do you think? And he's like, so how many entrepreneurs did you help last year? I was like, well, I didn't count. I just helped people. He was like, no, we need to know the numbers. He's all about the insights,
Mhm.
since he's a YouTube genius, and he's retired now, so everything is YouTube, and he's looking up stuff. And with his government background, he's like, yeah, you always want to know the numbers. He's an auditor's mindset, right? So I said, okay. So I said, well, we have 236 entrepreneurs since COVID for free. He's on, well, in 2021, I think you should double that. I said, okay. And so he's like, you got a plan for it? I said, can we talk about it over breakfast? So it's just one of those things that you sit back and you think about where your journey has taken you. And, a lot of times I had a lot of stop starts, and a lot of people don't realize that when you talk about writing down your goals, being intentional, being consistent, and then life gets in the way, and then you're kind of like thrown for a loop. Okay, how do I stay consistent? How do I stay motivated in order to manifest, right? So Brittni has this great post where she talks about living in purpose. Every post she writes, she talks about living in purpose, right? But when it was so weird, like last week after, our talk on the other show, Christine, and I was going back through and I was reading some of Brittni's posts, and I just sent her this text, okay, are you ready to come on the show? Because I was so excited about the fact that I think reading Brittni's post, it made me realize that yeah, okay, I am really truly living in my purpose every day. And I thought about how great of a message that Brittni's, in her post, in her blog post, she talks about that, being in your purpose daily. And whatever you have to do to be in your purpose of your life, you do it. And thank you, Brittni.
You're welcome. I had to think for a second. I was like, wait a minute, what post was she talking? Oh, okay, that post. That's the one you're talking about. I got it.
Yeah, but it's like every day every post she talks about living in purpose. And for a lot of people, they're still trying to figure out their purpose. And my thing is this, I just let it kind of organically flow. Like, this is who I've always been. I've always been that helper. And so, Brittni, your words inspired me to push harder in regards to living in purpose. So I want to ask you about that, Brittni. Your words are powerful. They really are. And I think for me, being someone who goes out and do all these great things, I want you to talk about living in purpose a little bit for those that are watching at home, those that will be listening, through the audio. Like, how do you go out and live in purpose? How do you do that?
So I'm no different from the next person. I've experienced tremendous losses, financially, emotionally, physically. I've had to overcome a lot of stuff, but I didn't have certain advantages or certain opportunities, or necessarily, anyone that's around me is not an enabler. I should say that. And I'm very grateful to my family and the friends that I do have, because none of them, like, they don't do the whole, oh, come here, let me pat you on your back. No. Wipe your tears and keep it going. And so when you grow up like that, and that is their way of nurturing you, or when you grow with people, and I'm talking about my partner, I'm talking about my family, and I'm talking about my best friends, all of them have that same common ground. It's like, cry and then keep it moving, get up and start all over again, right? And so those are kind of, it's the word Christine used earlier was synergy. Like, those are my innate characteristics as well. Like, God knew what he was doing when he made me. He made me especially to be me, right? So if you have a vision, you should treat your vision just as you've treated your journey. It's yours. Take hold of it and boss up, own up, chest in, head out, head up, chest out, and just keep pushing. And that's literally the best advice that I can give to anyone. I was looking for their post because I remember something that I said in there. You know, I said that if you're reading this, take a moment to be grateful, because everyone wasn't fortunate enough to get to the place that you and I are at right now. You know, the road may have looked different, but you're still here, which means that you still have a chance to do it over again. Again, about the losses that I've experienced, we've all experienced losses in whatever form or fashion that may have been. You're not being punished, but you have to understand why you're on that particular journey. And once you understand your journey and your purpose, your vision is that much more clear.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Thank you.
That is power.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. You know, there's a lot about, you know, a lot of people talk about stepping out on faith. You can't have fear and faith. And if that didn't apply to me in 2020, I don't know what did. You can't have both.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna be fearful, then just don't do it. Just live your life how you're supposed to. Go to your 9 to 5, come home, do what you're supposed to do, be boring, whatever. If that's your journey and if that's your purpose, then live in that. That's not for me. So I had to put that fear behind me, or that striving to be perfect at everything that I did, and understood that just step out on faith. I'm a woman of God first, and I'm strong in my beliefs and in my stance, and I have to be faithful in everything that I do. I don't care if I have $1 or $10,000 in the bank. I'm gonna do what I want to do at the time that I want to do it, and there's nobody that can stop me from doing it.
And the business guru sips tea.
Oh yeah, that was a sip tea moment.
Let me say sip tea moment. All I have to say is this. You guys are awesome. Can we just say that? Can we just, and this the thing about it is people they don't, sometimes we sit back and we sometimes we talk ourselves out of the things that we know we should do to be better all the way around, you know? So Christine, that's why it was so important when you were talking about manifestation and you talked about sustainable habits. Most people habits, I got my alarm set for this. I have my alarm set for that. I know I have to do my daily 10,000 things on my to-do list. But what I always encourage people is, yeah, while you're thinking about that daily to-do list, think about something that could impact yourself, impact your household, impact your neighborhood, impact the globe. You know, because sometimes we have to take as you know, as people, as humans, sometimes we have to sit back and go outside and look for that thing of beauty. And sometimes the thing of beauty is staring at you in a mirror. And you never realize that that was the thing of beauty. You know, when you sit down and write that email, your brain is a thing of beauty. You know what I mean? Something that you create. Some people like to write. Some people like, you know, to do the video thing and take pictures and paint. Some people, they like to cook. That's the way that they show their creativity. So I always tell people, you know, clean a slate, do the mind dump, and think about the things like, because Christine talks about habits, and she talked about those habits that's going to balance your life and it's going to get you to that manifestation. So believe me, I'm becoming a student of the life balance. I am still trying to learn. Business guru is still trying to learn how to.
We all are. That's a never-ending journey, and I think that's what people need to understand is that it doesn't. Yes. You are always up-leveling your habits based on the new lifestyle you're trying to live, because you're up-leveling your lifestyle. So your habits change, and they should
change. Yes, and then sometimes I didn't realize that. While I was going through, and I'm still going through, the manifestation part of my goals list and being intentional, I didn't realize that some of the habits that I had in the pursuit of manifesting my dreams, I didn't realize that I was not creating a good life balance in regards to self-care, in regards to spending time with family, in regards to spending time with a significant other. I didn't know, and I'm still learning that balance, but when you said one thing about being intentional. So I am putting forth a better plan of self-care for Candace, a better plan to spend that quality time with the friends and loved ones that I have. So I am working on, for me, the business is business. I'm getting pretty good at the business part, but I have to get better on the life part. So when you talked about sustaining the habits, I start thinking, okay, certain things I have to make a habit. I have to make breaking away from the office a habit, because I'm one of those people that I feel like I have to clear that to-do list. But then
I do the same thing. You have to schedule it in or you won't do it. And, you know, when I was going through my manifestation journey and you know, curriculum, you know, for that, I was learning a lot about how people numb themselves when they are trying to go through seasons of work or you know, stressful times. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. I don't do that. I don't numb. I don't drink alcohol. I don't, you know, I don't have any bad habits when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't use anything as an addictive source that is keeping me, you know, I mean, Netflix, social media, that kind of stuff, but it was never, I would watch a show once a week because I was working, you know? And then I realized that I numb with work, that work just becomes my being. And I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work. But that's the trap that entrepreneurs fall into, and why I love to guide, I say, mission-driven entrepreneurs. Yeah, because we are so in love with what we do, and we want to help and move, and things need to get done, that we end up numbing ourselves with work, and we don't enjoy, like I used to not enjoy the holidays.
I still don't.
I'll be honest with you, I still don't.
No, I'm learning. I don't, these are the things that I've learned about myself in 2020. I learned that when me, like sometimes I'll miss a meal in the pursuit of work. And when I think about it, it's like midnight. And I'm like, oh wait, did I eat today? But then I started thinking about it. Right, but that's just the thing. It was one of those things, like when, like you said, if it's work that you love, you don't think of it as work, you just go. And so for me, I was just going. And then it started dawning on me, your work is becoming that thing that you're addicted to.
Right, absolutely. It's just as bad as everything else that I thought was bad that everyone else was doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not eating right, like you said, like, but I'm pushing through because I can. But that's not healthy. Like that's a whole cycle in itself of that perfectionist self-doubt. If I don't keep working to make money, or if I don't keep working to help these clients, then I won't be good enough. They won't feel like I'm a good coach. I mean, it's the constant, we find ourselves, we get off one hamster wheel and we jump onto another. And it's just, so that's what I want people to understand. It's not like, just because we're all talking, like we've succeeded and we've done some of these things and all this stuff and it's great, the hamster wheels just keep getting bigger. Like we're just jumping up on different ones, and we have to make sure that we're just there for a minute and then we keep going, because otherwise, like we have our own things too. It's never, you eventually get to a place where you find peace with it and you understand how to manage what it is that you're trying to do.
And see, that's the journey part. Like that's the part.
I want people to think it never ends, because that's exhausting too. Like, oh great, so I'll just be on this journey for the rest of my life and constantly be going from one hamster wheel to another. That's not what I'm trying to say. It does get easier, but you're just trying to continue to up level. And once you see that it's possible to get to that level, then you're like, oh, I want to get to that next level.
Yeah.
I want to get to that next level. And you know, it's like in a video game, like I can do it. You start to build confidence in yourself. And
yeah. And that's the thing, like that's why I said I love when you talked about habits. And so for me, I'm making me my own habit. Like you know, it sounds kind of weird.
Self-care day.
Yeah, but then what I had to realize though was that like I would schedule stuff with other people, and then when it didn't happen, I would have this great disappointment because all I keep thinking about is the calendar. And so, okay, well, I missed this opportunity. When am I going to get another one to hang out? But I had to realize life happens. So I had to figure out that as a sustainable goal to make sure that I take care of my mental, physical, spiritual well-being, as well as the entrepreneur side of Candace. So when you talk about sustainable habits, I was like, yes.
You are no good to anyone else if you are not good. And just because you think you can power through, if you don't make time for your wellness, then the universe will make time for your sickness. And you will have whatever that looks like to you. And
Oh, it happened. It
it
happened.
happened. And the metaphor that they use on the airplane about putting your mask on before someone else's to save your life and to save someone else's life, that is to a T need to be translated into life. It's just how it works. If
I
you
love it.
yourself, then you can help so many other people, just like what you're doing, Candace, with all these entrepreneurs. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what, ladies, you guys have been here with me for an hour, and I have to say, thank y'all for taking time out on your Monday to spend, with me, the business guru, and the audience that is listening. And I can't wait to upload this audio onto all of my social media platforms and all of the podcasting platforms that I'm on, so other people can hear the greatness, right? So what I want to do is I want to change the view. Since we talked about the 30-second pitch, I want people to know where they can find you guys. So I'm going to start with Brittni first. And I'm going to go ahead and put my mic on mute. And I want Brittni to tell us about her greatness. So Christine, let you and I mute our mics.
Yep.
So Brittni.
Yep, I'm here. So you can find Another Loud Black Woman. I write literally every week. Technically, I write every day, but I post every week. I try to post every week. You can find my blog post at www.anotherloudblackwoman.com. I have an Instagram page that's the same thing, anotherloudblackwoman.com. I also have another business that we didn't talk too much about that, but Picturesque Planning HTX, you can also find on the Another Loud Black Woman website. You just go to the Picturesque Planning HTX tab at the top of the page. And I just have planners because, we were talking about journaling and manifestation and writing out goals and stuff. So I actually make planners, like your 2021 planners that people use each day or every year. And I make calendars, I make planners, I even make educational journals for kids. That's the educator side of me, and that greatness that I want my daughter to be. Yeah. So I have also educational tools that kids and parents can use at home, especially in this virtual world. And that is it. Oh, and I also have my Facebook page is Brittni Sparks, and you can find everything that I post about Another Loud Black Woman and Picturesque Planning also on my Facebook page.
That's what I'm talking about. Just awesomeness all the way around. So, Miss Christine, you're up next.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having us. This has been awesome. Brittni, it was great to meet you as well. You can find me. So if you want to book a session with me, I have, you can go to my website, which is christinebarnoel.com. So it's Christine CH and bar with one R. And I do have an Instagram, same thing. It's Christine Bar Noel. I host Today Over Tea, but I also host a new podcast called Recovering Perfectionist, which is very topical to my life coaching, and it's kind of a vehicle for that. So you can find that on Apple and Spotify, Recovering Perfectionist podcast, and all the other platforms as well. And yeah, I do I do 30-minute clarity calls that are life-changing. They're free calls, so you can go onto my website and book a call with me. You can find me on Instagram, DM me. I love meeting new people, love chatting in the comments and in the DMs. And yeah, I'm going to be launching, I'm currently in the process of solidifying my 3-month program, Healthy Habits and Happiness, which is so exciting. And then I'm going to be launching an academy later this year. So just so many exciting things. So definitely connect. And yeah, I'll send everything to Candace in the show notes.
Oh, when I say I am excited about all of this, I am excited. And the reason why I'm excited is because I'm proud to do the work that I do every day. And I'm glad to meet, great people that are doing great work that not only has a local impact, but has a global impact, you know? And I have to say thank you guys for being global citizens and getting your greatness out there and using your platforms to empower and to support. You know, that's really the main thing. Not only do you guys empower people with your words, but you also offer that support where people can contact you and let you know how they feel and how we can all manifest towards purpose and use manifestation tools to get there. And I am so excited. I want to thank you guys both for being my guests tonight. I will make sure that in the Facebook Live video that's playing now, I will put all of your contact information for both of you ladies in there where people can get in contact with you because, you know, I got some friends out there that are watching. They got shows too. And I think that you both should be guests on their shows so that way you can get more of your greatness out to a different demographic. And yes, I said it, and I'm going to make sure that it happens. Right? Because that is what I do, manifest. Because you can't hoard great information just like you can't hoard great people. You have to let the world know about greatness. Iron sharpens iron every day. And I have to say, thank you both for being my guests. As for each and every week, you guys know how I do it at the 9 o'clock hour. It is the business guru, Candace Joseph, for the Business Knowledge Broker Hour. All I have to do is say a couple of words. CEO out. Good night, everybody.
HighVolumeMusicRadio.com. The Business Knowledge Broker out.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business